Has an unexplainable itch ever bothered you? An itch that simply refused to disappear? With advancing age, our bodies communicate through subtle indications. At times, this might be a slight pain, an unexpected bruise, or a feeling of breathlessness. However, one frequently disregarded sign is unrelenting itchiness. Medical professionals are currently indicating that particular kinds of itching in highly specific locations might serve as a warning for conditions of greater severity. In this presentation, I will disclose 5 areas where older individuals frequently experience itchiness approximately a year prior to the diagnosis of grave conditions such as heart disease or cancer. Ranging from discrete indications on your back to unease in your legs, every sign I am about to examine could possess greater significance than you realize. Although not all itching warrants alarm, these specific sites, especially when accompanied by other symptoms or if they persist without a clear cause, merit more thorough investigation. And I urge you to remain with me through to the conclusion of this video, as you could potentially identify these indications in yourself or even detect an issue early in a loved one. Such awareness can be transformative. Let us now commence. First, let's discuss itching on the upper back. Among the initial and frequently disregarded symptoms physicians highlight is an unrelenting itch situated on the upper back, precisely between the shoulder blades or just below the neckline. Numerous older individuals attribute this to dry skin or fabric irritation, yet there is often an underlying issue that warrants your consideration. The upper back has a significant connection to internal organs such as the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. If an organ is not operating correctly, particularly when bile ducts become blocked or the liver begins to sustain damage, it can lead to a condition known as cholestatic pruritus. Put plainly, your body is attempting to signal that bile is accumulating in an improper location. The message conveyed is not invariably pain or tiredness. Often, it is itching. This sensation is discreet. It may appear and disappear. However, if the itch occurs regularly, persists for weeks, or intensifies during the night, then it is crucial to regard it seriously. Older individuals who are subsequently diagnosed with liver or pancreatic issues frequently remember having this type of itch for months prior to any significant diagnosis. Consider the case of a gentleman named Robert, 74 years old, who started to experience a peculiar, unrelenting itch directly beneath his shoulder blade. He attempted various remedies, including different soaps, lotions, and even a new laundry detergent, yet nothing provided relief. Ultimately, his physician conducted some blood tests and subsequently imaging, which revealed early-stage bile duct cancer. They detected it sufficiently early for effective treatment. That itch quite possibly saved his life. The rationale for this specific area serving as a warning sign relates to the way the nervous system interacts with your skin. When your liver or pancreas begins to encounter difficulties, these internal distress signals frequently manifest on the back, an area with a dense network of sensory nerves connected to these organs. It is also important to mention that this itch usually feels internal. It is perceived as deep-seated, not something that can be alleviated by scratching the skin's surface. Furthermore, in most instances, there is no discernible rash, which makes it simple to overlook or disregard. However, if you experience an itch in this region that continues despite the use of skin creams or appears unrelated to any external irritant, it is advisable to have a physician examine your liver enzymes and conduct a fundamental scan. The sooner an issue of this nature can be identified, the more favorable your prognosis. Itchiness is not merely an annoyance. In certain situations, particularly among older individuals, it serves as a message, a signal from your body indicating that something significant is occurring beneath the surface. Secondly, consider itching on the lower legs. Should you observe an unrelenting itch on your lower legs, especially in the shin or ankle areas, it could be tempting to attribute it merely to dry skin or a seasonal irritation. However, physicians who frequently treat older patients indicate that this specific type of itch can occasionally be a discreet yet significant indicator of diminished blood flow or initial signs of heart problems. As we grow older, our circulatory system naturally becomes less efficient, particularly in the lower extremities. Being the most distant from the heart, the legs are frequently the initial site to exhibit symptoms of compromised vascular health. When blood flow through your veins and arteries is impaired, it doesn't solely result in swelling or tiredness. It can also cause an accumulation of waste products within the skin, and a very common reaction to this is itching. Visually, there might not be much to observe. There could be no rash, redness, or swelling, only that continuous, bothersome itch that seems to originate from beneath the skin. For certain individuals, this itch can even intensify at night, when circulation naturally decreases further. It is simple to disregard, but if the condition is chronic and unresponsive to creams or antihistamines, a more thorough investigation may be warranted. A 78-year-old lady named Carol recounted how her legs itched persistently for approximately 6 months. She had experimented with numerous lotions, altered her laundry detergent, and even transitioned to natural soaps. Yet the itching did not cease. Only when she attended a routine cardiac examination did her physician identify early-stage congestive heart failure. Her heart was having difficulty pumping blood effectively, and her circulation had begun to deteriorate unnoticed. In such instances, the underlying condition is considerably more grave than what appears on the skin surface. Reduced circulation signifies that tissues are not receiving an adequate supply of oxygen and nutrients. Your skin responds by growing more sensitive, drier, and prone to irritation. Additionally, there is a link between itchy legs and conditions, such as peripheral artery disease, which causes blood vessels to narrow, thereby further impeding blood flow. Should you observe that your lower legs are itchy and also feel cold, weak, or numb periodically, or if you detect any discolorations or the formation of ulcers, it is imperative to consult your physician. This sensation is not exclusively linked to heart disease. Diabetes, kidney disease, and chronic venous insufficiency can all provoke similar feelings. The crucial aspect is to recognize the pattern. Is the itch confined to your lower legs? Does it recur nightly? Are you experiencing increased difficulty with walking or performing daily tasks? If these apply, do not simply write it off as dry skin. Inform your healthcare provider. A straightforward assessment of your circulation, blood pressure, and heart rhythm might reveal an issue that has been developing silently for months. If you are still following this video and find these points informative, please leave a comment with number 2 below to signal your continued engagement. Moreover, if you are not yet a subscriber, I suggest you subscribe and activate the notification bell to ensure you don't miss any future videos. Your encouragement enables me to keep producing quality content designed to inform and motivate you. Now let us proceed. Thirdly, we examine itching on the chest and upper arms. When itchiness appears on the chest or upper arms, particularly in the absence of any discernible rash or irritation, it frequently goes unnoticed. The majority of older individuals presume it is due to a shift in weather conditions, a new fabric softener, or simply an indication of aging skin. However, when this type of itch persists, and particularly when it is perceived deep within the skin as opposed to on the surface, another potential cause exists. Physicians are giving growing attention to internal malignancies. Lymphoma stands out as one of the most frequently disregarded conditions associated with unexplained, persistent itchiness. Indeed, numerous individuals who were subsequently diagnosed with specific types of blood cancer remember that their initial symptom was not a lump or tiredness, but rather itching. This itch frequently originates in the torso, specifically across the chest or on the upper arms. The underlying cause for this phenomenon is related to the immune system's reaction to cancerous cells. As the illness starts to progress internally, the body emits chemicals such as cytokines and histamines, which can aggravate nerve endings in the skin well before other symptoms manifest. The consequence is a persistent itch that waxes and wanes and does not react favorably to moisturizers or allergy medication. Initially, it might not appear pressing. You could go for days without noticing it, and then suddenly experience the return of that scratchy feeling, particularly during the night or following a warm shower. Some individuals characterize it as a crawling sensation, almost as if something is moving just beneath the skin. Others report it as not being painful, but rather as a constant, subtle discomfort that troubles them when they are least anticipating it. Physicians have also noted a distinctive pattern. This particular type of itching seldom impacts the hands or face, concentrating instead on regions with a high density of lymph nodes, such as the chest, underarms, and upper arms. These are the locations where your body houses immune cells, and it is here that initial indications of problems can silently emerge. Consider the account of Harold, an 81-year-old gentleman from Oregon. He began experiencing itchiness on his upper arms and across his chest concurrently, with feeling uncharacteristically fatigued in the afternoons. He did not give it much thought, attributing it to the aging process. However, when the condition persisted, his physician performed several tests, which included a blood panel and a scan. It was discovered that Harold was in the very initial stages of Hodgkin lymphoma. Due to its early detection, his treatment proved successful, and he continues to enjoy gardening in his backyard. Now, I want to be unequivocal. Not every itch on your chest signifies a serious condition. But if the itch is deep-seated, unrelenting, and unrelated to any skin ailment or environmental trigger, it merits attention, particularly if you observe other symptoms such as unexplained tiredness, night sweats, or weight loss. It is then time to consult with your physician. Even if these additional symptoms are absent, do not hesitate to seek medical advice. A fundamental blood test and physical examination can frequently indicate to your doctor whether a more profound issue might be present. The actual peril lies not in the itching per se, but in disregarding what your body could be attempting to communicate. Having lived as many years as many of us have, one learns that the body offers subtle hints before it issues loud warnings. And the earlier one heeds these whispers, the more opportunity there is to take action. Fourth, let's address itching on the scalp. This particular point might come as a surprise to you. The majority of individuals, particularly those of us navigating our 60s, 70s, or later years, have encountered a dry or itchy scalp at one time or another. We frequently attribute this to shampoo, the aging process, or even climatic conditions. However, unrelenting, unexplained itchiness on the scalp, especially when unaccompanied by dandruff or visible skin irritation, can occasionally indicate a more profound internal issue. Your scalp is densely populated with nerve endings and blood vessels. When an internal change occurs within your body, particularly involving organs such as your kidneys or your endocrine system, it can generate an itch that seems to emanate from beneath the skin. This is not a superficial dryness, but rather a sensation that is more difficult to pinpoint and alleviate. Medical professionals have observed that individuals with chronic kidney disease frequently experience this type of scalp itch, sometimes well before they realize anything is amiss. The body starts to have difficulty filtering out toxins, and these chemical accumulations impact the nerves in your skin. Given that your scalp possesses one of the most abundant nerve supplies in the body, it is among the initial areas where such effects are felt. A similar situation can arise with thyroid problems. If the thyroid is functioning either excessively or insufficiently, it disrupts your skin's equilibrium. You might not immediately detect any lethargy or changes in body temperature, but your scalp will register the imbalance. Frequently, no quantity of conditioner or medicated shampoo will offer relief. That is the crucial indicator. It's a subtle indication. You might find yourself scratching your head during the day without being conscious of the reason. You could observe that the itch worsens at night or after showering, and you might not even detect any flaking or redness. This is what makes it so perplexing. It is imperceptible to anyone but yourself. A lady I was acquainted with, Eileen, who was 76, repeatedly told her daughter about her persistently itchy scalp. She attempted changing shampoos, consulted a dermatologist, and even purchased a humidifier for her bedroom. Yet no remedy was effective. Ultimately, she underwent a comprehensive medical examination, and blood tests indicated that her kidney function was suboptimal. She had not observed any other symptoms, no swelling, no tiredness, only the itch. This was the initial indication. It is not invariably dramatic. Indeed, the subtle signs are frequently the most perilous. For this reason, this type of scalp itch, when it fails to respond to standard treatments and persists for weeks or months, warrants your consideration. This is particularly true if you are also observing other slight changes, such as alterations in urination, sleep patterns, or variations in appetite or mood. There is a neurological component to this as well. When the body is under stress, especially from an internal illness, the nerves themselves can malfunction, generating itching sensations without an apparent reason. These itches can be exasperating because they are genuine, yet unseen. You are aware of its presence, but there is nothing visible on your scalp to show a physician. Therefore, it is crucial to voice your concerns and request a more extensive evaluation. It could be as straightforward as assessing kidney function or conducting a thyroid panel. This might result in the earlier identification of a much more severe condition. However, disregarding it or presuming it is merely a consequence of aging can postpone care that you may genuinely require. So, on the next occasion you find yourself scratching your head, not due to perplexity, but because of an unrelenting itch, pay close attention. Your body could be attempting to convey an important message subtly. If you are still engaged with this video and find these observations beneficial, please comment with number 4 below to indicate your continued presence. Furthermore, if you are not yet subscribed, I encourage you to subscribe and activate the notification bell so you won't miss any upcoming videos. Your backing allows me to persist in producing valuable content aimed at informing and inspiring you. Now let us continue. Fifth, and finally, let's discuss itching on the palms of the hands and soles of the feet. Now, I want to address one of the most frequently disregarded and misinterpreted signals your body can transmit. This is a severe itch affecting the palms of your hands or the soles of your feet. Initially, it might appear trivial, perhaps merely bothersome. However, for older individuals, unrelenting itchiness in these highly particular locations can indicate more profound problems that extend far beyond simple dry skin or seasonal allergies. The palms and soles are richly supplied with nerve endings, blood vessels, and sweat glands. Consequently, when your internal well-being begins to change, especially concerning your metabolism, blood sugar levels, or even your nervous system, these regions are frequently the first to register the effects. Physicians have discovered that persistent itching in the hands and feet, particularly when not associated with a visible rash or a new detergent, can occasionally be an early indicator of deteriorating diabetes. As blood sugar levels increase and nerves start to sustain slight damage, a condition termed diabetic neuropathy, one of the initial symptoms individuals report is not pain or numbness, but rather itching. This itch can feel peculiar, almost like an electric sensation. It may be difficult to pinpoint its exact location. It simply feels as if something is moving under your skin. At times it intensifies during the night, while on other occasions it occurs after physical activity or exposure to heat. I distinctly recall one instance involving a gentleman named George. He was 80 years of age and had been controlling his blood sugar for more than 10 years. However, one summer, he began to complain of this severe crawling itch on the soles of his feet. There was no rash, no redness, only this sensation that was extremely irritating, particularly at night. Initially, he suspected his socks, or perhaps athlete's foot, but no remedy brought relief. When he eventually sought medical attention, it was found that his blood sugar had risen unnoticed, and nerve inflammation had already commenced. Aside from diabetes, itching in these regions can also be linked to liver disease, especially conditions that disrupt bile production or its processing. When bile acids accumulate in the bloodstream, they frequently impact the hands and feet initially, causing a profound, unremitting itch. There is also some indication that particular neurological disorders can manifest initially with itching in these areas. As the central nervous system begins to malfunction, your skin's nerves can become disoriented, transmitting itch signals even when there is no superficial issue. What renders itching of the palms and soles particularly challenging is the ease with which it can be rationalized. Perhaps it's the socks. Perhaps it's new footwear. Perhaps it's the climate. This is the common line of thought until the itching persists for weeks, begins to disrupt sleep, or gradually extends to other areas of the body. Unlike itches resulting from insect bites or irritants, this particular type does not react favorably to creams or non-prescription antihistamines. That is frequently the most significant indicator. It is resistant to treatment. It does not conform to the typical patterns. So, what signs should you be vigilant for? Observe its frequency. Does the itch recur daily, particularly during tranquil periods such as before retiring for the night? Are you observing other alterations such as tiredness, heightened thirst, tingling feelings, or changes in weight? These are indications that it is time to consult a healthcare professional. Itching may appear to be a minor issue, but when it is profound, unremitting, and confined to areas like the hands and feet, it could be your body's subtle request for assistance before a more severe condition develops. And having lived a considerable span of years, one learns this much: trust your intuition. It has guided you effectively thus far for good reason. In conclusion, as we advance in years, it becomes easy to disregard minor discomforts such as persistent itching, attributing them merely to another aspect of aging. Nevertheless, your body frequently conveys messages through discrete signals, and overlooking these indications could lead to missing a significant health problem. Be it an itch on your back, legs, chest, or even the palms and soles, each instance could be an attempt by your body to communicate something vital. The early identification of conditions such as liver disease, heart problems, or even cancer can substantially enhance your prospects for successful treatment. The crucial element is to be attentive to your body, observe recurring patterns, and voice your concerns when something seems amiss. Although it may be tempting to dismiss these minor annoyances, taking prompt action could potentially save your life. Therefore, do not allow the most minor indications to pass by without notice. Implementing proactive measures can be pivotal in preserving your health and overall well-being as you grow older. Your body is attempting to communicate with you. Have faith in its signals. Thank you for joining me today. I would be delighted to hear from you. Please leave a comment below sharing one piece of knowledge you gained today and how you intend to apply it in your life. Your perspectives are valuable to me. Therefore, please do not hesitate to express them. Reading your comments provides me with significant motivation and encouragement. If you found this video enjoyable and beneficial, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with others. Your support enables me to continue producing quality content designed to inform and inspire you. Thank you for watching, and I anticipate seeing you in the next video.